Hey guys, welcome back to some more Katawa Shoujo. I was thinking, and since it's Valentine's Day, and this is a graphic novel pretty much based off of love, I thought I'd just make like an hour-long video, like kind of a special thing. And yeah, so just do it, or gotta hit start again. Load, that's what I want. Paint by numbers. She perks her head up as she breaks off, talking to a noticeably smaller girl who must be her classmate, trying to listen as best she can.
Sorry, who?
Sorry, Hisao. I have Hisao. Sorry, Hisao. I have Hanako too.
Hi.
She's pretty skittish considering the number of people around. It isn't too hard to work out why. Lilly takes a moment's pause to assess the situation before turning to the other student once again.
For the moment, just ask Mirai his advice.
Kenji's busy with painting one of the banners already. Kenji? No. A quick nod and she bounces off, fingers carefully sliding along the wall's face for orientation. Wait, Kenji? That Kenji? I quickly turn about, leaning to the side to see past Hanako. Sure enough, in a corner of the room, Kenji's hunched over a sheet of cloth as he paints it. His eyes remain only inches from the brush, reminding me of how close he had to be to make out my face when I met him.
Sorry about that. Our class doesn't have many students with even partial eyesight, so they're in high demand.
That's right, 3-2 is a special class for students with poor vision. Preparing for the festival must be pretty arduous for them. Need a hand? I could give you help if you need some. Maybe Hanako could too. The chance to set her mind on something would do her good, but I doubt she has the same courage to ask outright. She quickly nods in affirmation afterwards, so I'm confident I made the right move. Lilly gives a noticeable sigh of relief.
Oh, that's good. This might actually get finished before everyone goes off to dinner now. Would you be able to help the person painting the main banner? It's a big task for him to do, but no one else can.
Kenji? Sure. Oh boy. We're gonna get an interesting conversation out of him, isn't it? Or aren't we? She seems surprised that I know him. I can't really blame her.
I take it you've met?
Our rooms in the dorm are right next to each other. Hard to miss each other, really.
Well, that's good to see you're getting friends so fast.
Friend. I wonder if that's the right word to use for him. Hanako's silence during the proceedings reminds me of the reason I put her up to helping in the first place. We'll go help him. He knows what he's doing. He knows what needs doing, right?
That's right. Just ask if you have any problems.
Coursing in ascent, Hanako and I begin another trek across the classroom. Kenji sits crouched on the floor, his gaze fixed on the white calico in front of him. Hey, Kenji. No answer. He continues dragging his soaked brush along the large half-painted Kenji that's sketched on the sheet in pencil. Kenji?
Huh? What? Who is that?
If this is the way he treats class members, it's no small wonder he's working on this alone. It's me, Hisao from...
Right. I know that man. What are you doing here, though?
His dismissive attitude annoys me. He must be the type to really get focused on his work, hating to be disturbed by anyone until he's done, I suppose. While we walk, the sound of Hanako's footsteps as she walks out from behind me remind me that she's here. I was gonna help you with the banner. Hanako and I, that is.
Hello.
Oh, hey, I guess it's okay. As soon as Hanako enters the equation. His demeanor takes a completely out-face. His sudden faux hospitality is slightly unsettling. Oh right, women on second thoughts. Oh right, women. On second thought, this may not have been a great idea after all. Hanako and I grudgingly set ourselves down on the opposite side of the cloth banner to Kenji. Noting the several small paint tins on the ground around it. Class 3-2, noodle stall? You guys selling noodles at the festival on Sunday?
Yeah, some stalls outside or something.
Or something? His non-committal nature sparks a fair amount of suspicion on my behalf. The task at hand comes first, though. So how do you want to split this? We do borders while you do text, or do you want to switch and do the borders?
Text is mine, you do borders.
Okay. He has surprisingly strong feelings on the topic. As I reach over to grab a brush, I notice Hanako already debating between colors to use. Oh, it's so cute. By the time I've put brush to cloth, she has already started on a delicate pattern. Looks like my idea of taking her mind off everyone around her worked. With a dark blue stroke, the three of us silently get to work. Not before Kenji takes advantage of Hanako's working to lean towards me and whisper conspiratorially though.
Okay, man, why you here?
Hanako just wanted some help to find Lilly, that's all. He apparently disapproves of my motivations.
I get it. It looks like I misjudged you. You're infiltrating them, aren't you? Going deep undercover.
Oh god. No! No, not at all. Even. Yuck. I should have guessed. Letting the truth slip by him would probably be better than outright lying and annoying him in any case. Is that why you're here?
Obviously, it sucks, but there's no better way to get intel than going in yourself.
Sure.
We gotta stick together, man. This is a harsh school, a harsh world.
Yes, very harsh. He misses my true meaning as he leans back satisfied. I'm sympathetic to his case. I better get down to work. Let's get down to business.
Finished.
Looks like I am too. Good job. One of us connect up the lines of our patterns, mine being as close a copy as I could manage of hers. With a grunt, I lever myself up from the floor and look around. Aside from Hanako and myself, there's only Kenji left finishing off a sign, as well as Lilly and a couple of students talking among themselves in the classroom. Looking at my watch, it's no surprise. It's getting pretty late. Need a hand? I offer a hand to Hanako, which she uses to get herself up. As she does, I can't help but glance at her wrist. If her scars extend even to there, just how much of her body was burned. I feel a pang of guilt about it, however, as she quickly covers her wrist with her other hand. Good job, Hanako. God dang it, dude. Looks good, doesn't it? She looks surprised for a moment before noticing that I meant the banner. It's probably not the first thing you should say after pulling her up and then staring at her wrist for a while and saying those burns, saying that looks good, because then you think she's talking about the burns. You should have been like, oh, the banner looks super awesome, doesn't it, Hanako? She's like, yeah, awesome, nailed it.
It does, I guess.
Well, she's smiling. Her smile shows that she feels a slight sense of pride in the result, just as I do. With the floor significantly neater for the decorations being placed on a desk and shelves, it's much easier to get Lilly as we cross the room. We finished the banner, I guess that's all that needs to be done. Lilly gives an appreciative nod.
Thank you, Hisao. Thank you, Hisao. Hanako, if there's any way I can thank you?
It's fine. Beats sitting in my room studying at any rate.
I don't mind either.
She nods before suddenly remembering one last person. Oh.
Oh, is Kenji still here?
Just as I open my mouth, Kenji gives the answer from the other side of the room.
Yeah, I just finished.
He carefully slides his sign into an empty section of the shelf to dry before quickly walking past us and out the door.
See ya, man.
Bye. The remaining two students say their goodbye to Lilly before taking their cue to leave as well, leaving only the three of us. Well, I guess that's everyone.
I hope we don't have to do anything like that again.
Working past school time?
Indeed. The class's plan this year were ambitious. Maybe too ambitious.
Excuse me, hiccups.
Maybe too ambitious. The stalls look nice, though.
She's right. She's right. It shows that a lot of work's gone into them.
My. I'm sure a lot of us would be glad to hear that. At least now there's not much work to do until the festival itself. It's getting pretty late. Should we go? That's probably a good idea. Are you going back to the dorms as well, Hisao?
Yeah, I guess I'll tag along. The nighttime lighting really makes the gardens look quite different. Compared to the usual look of lush greenery, things are much more calm. Being that it's so late, the lack of students around probably helps. The odd one or two can be seen scurrying to and from the dorms, trying to eke the most of their approaching curfews, but no more. All that can be heard is our footsteps, in addition to Lily's cane regularly, gently tapping the ground in front of her. It's nice to finally be able to relax a bit after the mad rush during school. Without even noticing it, I let out a small yawn.
Tired?
Yeah, still getting used to the flow of things, I guess. The thing with Shizune took me kinda off guard, though. I gripped my teeth a little at the candid mention of their rather public spat. That said, I don't want to sort out what in the world was behind it. Or I do want to.
About that. I'm sorry about being so public. Shizune and I go back some ways.
Her voice seems slightly irritated as she remembers, Shizune obviously unwilling to discuss it any further. I glance to Hanako for her views on this, but her expression is unsurprisingly evasive and difficult to read. Either way, I guess her apologizing for it is something, even if my curiosity goes unanswered.
I'll be glad once the festival is over in any case.
The change of topics welcome, clearing the thickening air quickly. I can imagine my old school's festivals were a lot more low-key than this.
Yamaku stresses the idea of a school community, so the staff likes to make our festivals and such special occasions.
And yet the students are the ones who do the work. What an unfair world. Hanako and Lilly both chuckle in agreement, savoring the fact that none of the staff are around to hear our grumbling. Excuse me.
I suppose coming from a strict all-girls school helped me a bit with Yamaku. Compared to there, Yamaku is much more relaxed.
That'd go a way toward explaining her well-bred speech and behavior in any case. As we come to the dormitories, it eventually comes time to leave for our respective rooms. See you, Lily, Hanako. The two both give polite nods before setting off the women's dorms, just next to the guys. As is to be expected of such arrangement, there is God dang it. Walking past him, I quickly stretch my arms and rub my neck, both quite sore after having worked on the floor for so long, before walking to my room. It feels good to actually have direction, though. After so long in the hospital, the everyday facts of studying, homework, and teachers seem almost a blessing. I guess if things continue like this, my time at Yamaku might turn out okay. Adhering to the nurse's nagging voice in the back of my head, I set my alarm clock to wake me up early enough to go jogging again. I made a promise, and I'm going to keep it. Besides, Emmy is bound to rat on me if I don't show up. But it's not all that bad. Good night, Sal. My morning alarm goes off, and I flail about uselessly for a while until I remember that I'd decided to give morning runs another shot. I don't know if this was my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. This is about my health, after all. Sure, things haven't been great lately for me, but that hasn't made existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try everything I can to stay healthy. Besides, it's all about asserting some kind of control over this thing, right? If I can manage that, well, I can manage anything. At least that's why I keep telling myself. Once again, it would appear that I'm not alone in my run. Emmy has apparently been here for some time. It looks like she's already worked up. It looks like she's already worked up a good sweat. Just when the hell does she come down here anyway?
Oh, it's you! I'm surprised to see you again.
Why is that?
Well, not many people actually manage to come back for a second try.
She frowned, seemingly annoyed by a passing thought.
Like the rest of the track team, for instance. Still, it was only supposed to be a volunteer basis, so it's not that big of a shock. And I guess it's pretty early in the morning.
I shrug, and suddenly it appears that she's forgotten what she was thinking about. Oh, jeez. The frown disappears entirely, and she seems to snap back to her previous train of thought.
So come on then!
What?
You're here to run again, right?
Well, yes.
So come on.
I find myself suddenly grabbed and yanked onto the track. Things seem to be set on mirroring yesterday's run. That is, I seem to be struggling while Emmy moves with an effortlessness that I find inviolable. Poor you. It's incredibly bothersome to be so easily worn out. I know I should be patient, work toward things gradually, but it's difficult to stay positive about this. We round the track and start on our second lap. Emmy seems to have grown impatient, keeping pace with me, and begins to pull away. This is where I gave out yesterday. Will I be able to do more? No, because you're gonna die if you do that. I don't think you're going to. I let Emmy go with her own pace, and she doesn't show mercy, pulling half a lap ahead of me in an instant. I don't blame her. I mean, it's not as if I'm really putting up any sort of real fight out here, is it? Instead, I'm just running at a steady pace, which is what I should be doing, right? There's no need to go pushing my limits at this stage of the game. God, is this even worth it? As we finish the second lap, I break off again. Emmy keeps going, and it almost seems to me that she's disappointed. Well, that's stupid. I don't have anything to prove to her. Come to think of it, I've got nothing to prove to myself either. I'm just fine the way I am. Though what I'm not is a runner. This was probably a bad idea. Maybe there's something else I can do instead of this. Getting up this early sucks. Anyway, there's got to be some other way to keep healthy. Walking, maybe? Nice afternoon walks? Yeah, that sounds good. Running isn't for me. I wave to Emmy and head back to my room. I think of something else later. I'll think of something else later. Back in my room, the first thing I see is the familiar row of medication bottles lined up on top of my dresser, and it makes me depressed as usual. It's annoying. I thought I was okay. I thought I had made my peace with this thing, gotten over it. But what I really did, I allowed myself to forget that I have a problem. Being here really reminds me of the reality, and trying to fight against it just hurts. Reflecting on it is only going to do so much. I've done this before for months. It seems like it's time to get over it. If I allow myself to forget, then my life is definitely not going to be as long as those of others. I won't get anywhere. My life may be different from others, but it's a life in progress. That is how I'll rationalize it. That's a positive outlook, Hisao. Good job. I down the usual handful of pills, trying to push the sudden dreary feeling out of my head. Then I prepare to head out to class early, as usual. As I step into the hallway, I notice Kenji coming around the hallway corner, stealthily making his way over to his own room with a large bag. As he sneaks past me soundlessly, like a ninja hiding in plain sight, I call out to him. Hey. He jumps at the sound of my voice. Oh, hey man, I didn't notice you there. I'm really tired. What are you doing? I think it's more like he didn't see me, but that's not the issue. Where have you been this early? Shopping?
Nah, I wasn't shopping. Something I had to visit. The math teacher. Yeah, I figured it would be a good idea to find out when the next exam is, since he tells you in advance if you want.
So then, what's in the bag?
I thought I'd go shopping while I was outside. I need supplies to continue the fight against the fast feminist conspiracy.
Okay. I thought you didn't go outside.
I wear a hat now.
Why are you changing the subject? I decide not to point out that he's not wearing a hat. An awkward silence settles between us, and then Kenji breaks it by pushing his door open slowly, releasing a creaking sound into the air that only makes the moment seem more awkward. He sets the bag down inside the room, and then he closes the door. I'm surprised you went out of your way to find a test date. Trying to take advantage of an opportunity to study is pretty diligent.
I never study.
Oh.
I just wanted to know when the next test day was. I'm still gonna take it, duh. I need to know when it is so I know what day I can afford to skip class. He usually sends out updates on that crap by phone. So I had to step out and check up on it.
You know, why do you have to go out when you can get it on your phone?
I don't carry a phone.
I see. What do you mean you don't carry a phone? You mean you just leave it at home?
Nah, I don't use phones. I don't have a phone. Phones, I have no phone.
I was going to assume Kenny didn't have a phone. Why don't you have a phone? How can you not have a phone? No phone at all? No phone? You know, there are people I can live without a phone. I can live without one to an extent. Like, without my phone, it doesn't bother me, like, not being on it. But it's nice to have in case I need to call somebody. And I watch YouTube on it a lot, too. But I can live without watching YouTube videos on my phone. You know, whatever. But, yeah, not all people need phones. Hell, some people still don't even have TVs, and they seem to be doing alright. So, you know, not necessities, but...
I just don't like phones. Actually, I'm kind of scared of them. I don't know why. I think it's some kind of repressed drama. Okay. But basically, when I hear a phone, I get nervous. It's my darkest secret. I have two theories on it. Either I have some fear of receiving some undefined, ominous, life-altering doom call, or I was beaten with the phone in the past. Beaten so badly I can't remember it.
Goodness. Oh, Kenji. Now he says that, though, the, ominous call, remember, reminds me of that one movie where if you answer your phone on the call and it says you're next or something, you're dead. It's just you die. I think you die within the next day or something, or the next 24 hours. I don't remember what it is, but I know that you just die. You're dead. Nothing you can do about it. Beaten
Well, where else could I get beaten with a fountain? That would make me unable to remember it. The ass?
Well, unexpectedly logical. I feel very depressed now. Sensing this conversation is more or less over, Kenji opens his door again and prepares to head inside.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep, dude. Have a good one.
Class is going to start in like 20 minutes. Do you think Kenji cares, honestly? Kenji's going to sleep through all the classes.
Yeah, I heard you did something today. I'm too tired to go to school. Hey, you need some lip balm?
Wait.
Hey, you need some lip balm? I accidentally bought 2 because I thought the store started selling individual AA batteries.
Oh my goodness, Kenji. Thanks, but no thanks.
Whatever, man.
He swiftly enters his lair, finally letting me go to the class. For a change, I'm not among the first ones to come to my morning class. Instead, almost everyone else seems to be here already. I recognize most of my class, but by their faces now. By their faces by now, though the names escape me still. The class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of school. I have even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overtly attentive. The first days, I was pretty high-strung in class. Mattel finishes his lecture about electricity. Wow, it's electricity? How did I get electricity? I don't know. I swear I have like a minor case of dyslexia. It's not my fault. Electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. So as you know, the festival is on one day after tomorrow. Wait. So as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. If not, you're going to become zombie bait and I'm going to have Carl get the gun. Have a good time, but also come Sunday, please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds.
Games and fried food!
Oh no, not Misha. Everyone bursts out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikado. What I mean was more of a... Okay. The remainder of this sentence is buried beneath the ring of the lunch bells, and everyone starts packing their things. Matao deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. Poor Matao. It's crowded in the hallway, or as crowded as a hallway in the school could probably get. Wait, as crowded as a hallway in the school could okay, yeah. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria.
Hisao! I'm going to make you a one-time only super extra special lunch offer!
Emmy's homemade lunch boxes. Emmy's homemade lunch boxes and privilege of enjoying them in a private with 2 bombshell beauties. Okay. Her overly flirtatious sales pitch echoes in the hallway, a remarkable feat since it's full of people. Amy strikes a very confident-looking pose, as though as an attempt to one-up her own ridiculousness, puffing her very modest chest and making the V for victory sign with her hands. Sounds delicious. To what do I owe this honor of being invited?
You stood there looking really lost and sad, so I thought you could use some company.
That is probably the most depressing reason imaginable.
So how about it? You're probably really lonely and would eat that awful cafeteria food all alone otherwise. I'm kidding.
Sure, I'll have your lunch offer with pleasure.
Let's go to the roof.
The roof? Why the roof? The roof is on fire.
Because that's where we're eating lunch. And if we don't get up there, she'll probably wander off. Then I just know she'll go hungry because she never packs a lunch for herself.
Who will?
Come with me.
Is it gonna be Rin? Because I remember Rin saying that her friend was always in athletics and stuff, and Emmy's doing athletics. Without answering my question or waiting for a response, she grabs me by the arm and drags me through the hallways. I attempt to make conversation on the way. Why do you have an extra lunch? Amy smiles guiltily. Oh, okay. I thought she was, like, plotting to have me eat with her. Actually, it's yesterday's lunch. I slipped in a run at lunch and I forgot to eat. Huh. The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated? I don't know. But it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door, complete with a missing padlock. I wonder who the interpret individual was that removed the lock? Harry shoves the door open and steps beaming into the sunlight. It is Rin. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs. Eek! Hello. Yipes, you scared me, Rin. Wait, isn't she... Hello. Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Emmy looks curiously at me. You two know each other? I look confusedly at Emmy. She's that friend of yours? Rin has turned her gaze toward the clouds drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy. The awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds until Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off. I invited us out for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh, does this mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Either. I have the food for 3. Nice thinking. They walk to the other end of the roof while I stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There is nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. A few run-down benches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolated. The small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. I peek through the chain-link fence to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs in groups around the quadrangles and at the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Somewhere a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow when I look toward the town center, the small town feel strikes me very strongly. Ooh, excuse me. Almost palpably, sure. The hectic lifestyle of a big metropolis seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depends on it, or get their senses overloaded by the neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine. Looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from my home all came so suddenly, I haven't had time to think about how I feel about it. Also, Sal's a senior, okay? I thought he was like a junior or a sophomore or something. I guess he's a senior. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfectly clear, cerulean sky. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on a bench with Rin in tow, and proceeds one big and 2 small lunch boxes from her bag. Come on, Isao, what are you waiting for? She is beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. I see myself on the corner of the bench to make as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all 3 of us fit on it. That's impressive. Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places the lunch box in front of Rin and hands another lunchbox to me.
Here you go. Lunch as promised.
Homemade, no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good.
Thanks. I make 'em myself when I can.
Conversation dies off as I set about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a fork full of food. Ooh, goodness. To her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I am in right now. Will I ever get used to this sight such as this? I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Or does it just mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'd say it's number 2. I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. You seem pretty hungry. Emmy looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding.
My morning runs always work up an appetite, which is great because then I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure. What would happen if you lose it? Would you become a man?
Oh my goodness, Rin. I nearly choke on my lunch trying not to laugh.
It's a figure of speech. Does your figure have to run in the mornings too?
Goodness, Rin. Do you always talk like this?
Talk like what? Like what?
I think that answers my question. There, never mind. So, I struggled to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How'd you two meet? Rin seems content to let Emmy answer her this question.
Someone in the housing department thought that we'd complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another.
I was gonna say, because, like, Rin has feet but no arms, but Emmy has arms, but, no feet below her below her calves, I think. Below her knee, something like that. Complement to each other? How have you not figured it out, Hisao? She has arms, and Rin doesn't, and Rin has feet.
Like shoes and a suit.
Huh? Emmy giggles at my confusion.
Put us together and we've got our whole limbs, get it? Ah.
God dang it, Hisao. Ow, I hit my funny bone. That hurt.
So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings. And that was that.
So that's how Rin gets dressed. Okay.
I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along.
I see. Rin chooses this moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. Yeah. Right, that seems fairly obvious.
Really?
Kind of. This isn't helping, but at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny. That combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms, so putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm going to just stop talking now. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner.
I see.
The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really quite good. Emmy finishes her lunch first and makes contented noise.
Ah, that was good.
As she pushes herself... I can't read, good lord. As she pushes herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up.
I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot that. Sorry.
With the flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. Sweet. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with pink color scheme, and keeps an equally pink box of some kind of other fruit punch for herself. Rin dexterously stabs her straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. I am once again impressed by how flexible she is. But this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow I don't think either Emmy or Rin are the sort of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Rin especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is yet another matter. I'm honestly not sure. So, Hisao, how do you like it up here? It's quite nice, actually. I like high places for the view. Thanks for inviting me up here, and for the lunch, too. Amy grins a 1,000-watt grin, pleased by my response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay? I won't make you a lunch, but you can bring your own up here. No lunch service? I don't know. Amy looks mock offended. Okay. Trying to take advantage of my good nature? The nerve. She giggles. Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I will keep eating lunch all alone. She's trying to do that friggin' puppy dog thing again, isn't she? She's got really bright green eyes, though. I like her eye color. Rin's are like dark green. I'm suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've seen as Emmy's pouts. Kidding! I was kidding! I'd love to eat lunch up here again. Good location and the company's okay too. Emmy frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I have accepted her invitation. I guess this makes us friends now. Or at least acquaintances. The lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs. Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again! I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away. Rin shrugs as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we'd better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. The afternoon class passes. Once again, I find myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library to return a couple of the books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday, all the more evident from the almost total silence enveloping in the room. Hello, Yuko. Jeez. As I drop the books I borrowed into the return slot on the counter, Yuko suddenly pops up from behind it, quite startled from the banging they make as they hit the trolley next to her. Ah, sorry, Yuko. Didn't mean to startle you. I don't remember what I did for her voice, so I'm just going to use mine. No, that's fine. It happens a lot. I'm sure... No, it happened. No, that's fine. It happens. A lot. I'm used to it by now. Can I help you? It's okay. I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyways. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do, and after reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. Excuse me. I wander down to the fiction section toward the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. As I do, I look over to the corner where Hanako had been the last time I was there, not really expecting anything to come of it. Oh, she's there again. Surprisingly, though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decide against intruding on her like last time and get back to finding reading material. No, you should have talked to her. Oh. You should have talked to her, man. After an indiscernible amount of time spent pursuing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple of books to get and slide them off the shelf. With a minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter, check out my books, and pop them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students remain, but the majority have left, presumably to their homes and dorms. I guess I need to buy some supplies. I can't live off cafeteria food and eating out for my entire stay here. As I leave for the gate, I make a few loud stretches to try and stave off the tiredness that's accumulated over the week. After passing through and rounding the corner, though, I see a solitary figure walking downhill toward the small town below. The color of the hair and tapping of the canes are unmistakable. Pretty much. Hi, Lilly. I quickly walk up to her, which seems to catch her attention without a word needing to be said. Hi, Lilly. She takes a moment to place the voice lightly, adjusting her head to face a bit more towards the source of my voice as she does. Sal? Yup, that's me. She seems to have a good memory for voices. The fact that she actually remembered is a pleasant surprise. Good evening. What brings you here? Once again, she gives a small, polite bow, and once again I reply in kind before realizing that I needn't do so. Just going into town. You? My, what a coincidence. Doing the same thing, huh? I usually go shopping on Fridays. She pauses for a moment, suddenly looking a little lost. That said, Hanako usually comes into town with me. Not lost, but worried. Two do seem to keep pretty close tabs on one another. It's kind of surprising that Hanako would just forget Lilly like that. I noticed her reading in the library. She probably just got caught up in a book. She lets out a small sigh of relief. Thank you. She has a habit of doing that. Avid reader? Right. She doesn't like being around crowds of people. Right, she doesn't like being around crowds of people. So reading away from everyone lets her relax a little. For a bit. Although she probably didn't intend it, I can't help but grimace as I recall my first meeting with her. Hardly wanting to bring it up, I remain silent. Oh, excuse me, jeez. Hardly wanting to bring it up, I remain silent as we quietly continue to walk down the quiet road. Tack, 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 tack. With the road bereft of cars and the students of Yamaku increasingly far behind us, the quiet rustling of the leaves and the measured tapping of Lily's cane against the sidewalk are all that can be heard. It's kind of nice, especially compared to the hustle and bustle of where I used to live. Before I know it, I relax so much that a loud yawn escapes before I can control it. Yeah, I've had a few of those already. Tired? Yeah, I've been running ragged these past few days. That's an understatement to be sure. Transferring into a different school would be bad enough, but nothing like this. Well, hopefully everything should be settled down for you. The festival's got everyone in a spin right now, and you've been plopped right in the middle of things. For a moment I hesitate, but given her apparent tolerance for frankness, I decide to give my full thoughts. I guess, Yamako's kind of different though. I mean the formality surrounding everything, the isolation around it, not to mention the most obvious difference. It's kind of a whole different mindset, I suppose. I get used to it though, in time. She gives a matter-of-fact nod, apparently pleased with my answer. It feels almost as if she included me in the flock of students she's shepherding, along with Class 3-2 and Hanako. Well, not that I mind, it's nice to get the thoughts off my chest in any case. Looking on the bright side, one could see it as a chance for a new beginning. You should cherish the ability to make new friends. That's optimistic, nonetheless. It's good to have a positive attitude about such things, I suppose. Well, obviously, if you don't have goodness. Like positive attitude, optimistic, and ability to make good friends, you're not going to get very far in life, to be totally honest. I guess that's a good take on it. Walking on down the road, she seems to become somewhat unsettled. Before I can ask what's on her mind, she seems to collect herself and speak up about something else. So, where in town were you going? That's actually a pretty good question. I'd come to buy food, but the layout of the place is still totally foreign to me. I had intended to just wander around and see what I could find, but with sunset already approaching and nightfall not too far away, that doesn't seem very wise. I'm going to have to ask her for directions again. I was just going to get some food, but now that you mention it, I don't really know the way. Well now, this is quite lucky. I was just about to go to the convenience store myself. Excuse me. Looks like I'll be in your care then. Thanks. Together we walk to the store. My pace is carefully slowed to remain beside her. Compared to my usual walking pace, hers is quite a bit slower, not that it's without reason. After what couldn't be more than several minutes, I catch sight of our objective. This town really is pretty small. Without further ado, we make our way inside with a greeting from the counter. Mind if I tag along with you? Usually Hanako would help me, but seeing as she's not here... It takes a moment before I realize what she means. Considering she wouldn't be able to read any of the labels, shopping without any help would be a big pain for her. That said, I can't shake the feeling that she'd had this idea since I said I was coming here. Sure, it'd be my pleasure. I grab 2 well-used red blankets from the small rack beside the entrance, handing one to Lilly. She lays on the ground, putting her school bag in, retracting her cane and sliding it through the basket's handles before picking it up in her right hand. What if she doesn't use her cane? Before I can complete the thought, she comes beside me and pinches the cuff of my uniform in her slender fingers. Is this alright? Sure. Well, she kinda needs you as guidance, Sal, so... And she's not even ugly. That's like a bonus. I have no reason not to accept. I can think of worse things than shopping with a pretty girl holding... Yeah, exactly. Even if it is out of necessity. We navigate our way through the store with not one of those occasional passing customers seeming to bat an eyelid. Considering how close Yamaku is, I guess seeing students from there must be entirely normal for the local residents. As we reach each aisle, I quickly check with Lilly to find out what she needs. I grab it along with what I'm looking for and put our items excuse me, into their respective blank baskets. I'm not even tired. I don't know why I'm yawning. I took like a 2.5 hour nap today after getting... How many hours did I sleep last night? I fell asleep at like 11:30 and woke up at like 7:30. So that's like 7 hours maybe? Something like that? No. 8 hours. It's like, yeah. So I got like 10.5 hours of sleep. I don't know why I'm yawning. I guess this is the same routine she and Hanako follow every Friday. Right. All that's left is the bread, and that should be my shopping done. Do you need anything else, Lilly? No, this should be everything. Off we go then. With a quick side trip to the bakery section, we make our way to their registers. The line, thankfully, is almost non-existent. It's not too long before we've both paid for our food and are out the door. As Lilly retrieves her cane and extends it to full length, I waste a minute looking upwards at the night sky while holding both our bags. For a moment I try not to make clouds with my breath, but the summer's heat doesn't seem to cooperate. Yeah, that's... Ooh, good lord. Okay. That's for winter, Hisal. And for anything that's like colder than... Not colder than winter, nothing's colder than winter. Unless you don't have a winter. Or you're in a place where winter's warm. Where I live, winter ain't even close to warm. Summers are pretty hot, too. Oh. For a moment I try to make clouds with my breath, but the summer's heat doesn't seem to cooperate. Eventually she rights herself, taking a quick stretch before taking her bag and leaving me to my two. You tired as well? The festival preparations have been complete chaos. Shizune breathing down my neck doesn't exactly help things either. Hey, she's only trying to get everything organized. Better now than later, right? I suppose. I'm going to enjoy relaxing in town tomorrow, that's for certain. I guess the festival preparations must be taking their toll on both of them. We walk out into the quiet street, talking between ourselves as we carry our bags of food and supplies from the store. If I could stop yawning, that would be fantastic. Wait, what's that? I notice a very distinctive figure making its way towards us, silhouetted by the street lamps. For a second I think it's another male student from my class, but as he, or should I say she, gets closer, I recognize her quickly. Hi, Rin. Rin, what are you doing out here so late? She could ask you the same thing as Al. Rin? Lilly perks her head, looking like she's trying to focus on listening more keenly. It suddenly comes to me that I should probably interpret the scene for her. Where was I? Sorry, I got distracted. Hold on. Okay. It's Rin. Tezuka, I think was her last name, from our school. No, stop yawning. Oh. She stiffens at the name and gives a complicated-looking expression, something like a forced fusion of a composed smile and a painful cringe. Ah, I understand. I guess Lilly knows Rin, too. Rin turns to look at us, looking terrible out of it. I'm not entirely sure if she recognizes either of us, or at least she doesn't acknowledge it if she does. She looks like a zombie, or a statue of a zombie. But slowly some symptoms of understanding seem to light in her dark eyes. This is something she must react to. She blinks once, very thoroughly. Hello. Oh my gosh, Rin. There's an awkward pause, everyone waiting for someone else to say something. What are you doing here this late? Like I said, she could ask you the same thing. I was wondering about that myself too, just now. Were you sleepwalking? Some people asked that just before. I assumed they were wondering the same. I don't know. They didn't know either, I asked. That's why I'm wondering. Why are you so confusing, Ren? Ah. So that was pretty much it. It's a murder mystery without a murder. So it's a mystery? They were going that way. She turns, facing to her right in order to demonstrate the direction the other people went, as if that was important, then rotates back like a mechanical puppet on one of those overly complicated clockworks. For a person who gives an impression of being the quiet type, Rin really does use a lot of words to say things that don't need a lot to be said. Unsure if she's finished, I say nothing. Neither does Lilly, who seems equally robbed of words for the time being. Blame you guys, just like, what the hell? I think that both of us are in fact just scared that any response might provoke her to continue. Yeah, we wouldn't want that, would we? Her stupefied lack of reaction doesn't faze Rin at all. She keeps looking at us expectantly, a calm hint of expression on her blank face. She seems to be thinking. She seems to be that kind of person. Always so relaxed. Always so sarcastic. Always has something to say. For some reason, I find her hilarious. Maybe it's because my attitude's kind of like hers. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. As if bull elephant grade sedatives were flowing in her veins in the place of blood. Do you have amnesia? I don't recall you having any of the sort, though. No, I don't think that's it. No, I don't think that's that. No, I don't. God dang it! No, I don't think that. I don't think it's that. Gee, many Christmas, I kept putting that in front of think and then stuff, and it didn't work. It's not what I said. The other passerby were probably just worried, though. You do look really lost. The way you're standing in the middle of the street. Oh, I see. Maybe I should have taken some other kind of pose in that case. I wonder for a while whether I should chase this angle further or give up for the sake of my own sanity. I decide on the later. It seems that most of the time it's better to not read too deeply into what Rin is babbling about. Talking with Rin is like playing chess with the supercomputer who does seemingly completely random moves as if to mock everything you know about chess. It's like that, except with human interaction. And even if I win, it feels like I'm losing. Even if I win, it feels like losing. Damn. It's just like Kenji said. Even when I win, I lose. Is this the power of the girls of Yamaku? Don't buy into that Kenji crap. You're gonna become insane just like Kenji. You're gonna lose your mind. Although Kenji's kind of funny. I don't know if he's insane. He's out there. That's for certain. I push the thought aside as too dangerous to consider further. It's probably just Kenji's anti-female propaganda. Getting me during the moment of weakness! Stop yawning! Yeah, maybe taking another pose might have worked. So anyway, you have no idea what you're doing here. She frowns, looking extremely displeased at either my question with consequence or the answer she's about to give. I do have some idea. I can't really tell what kind of an idea. That sounds like progress, at least. Lilly sounds as if she spotted an opening for some kind of discernible, normal conversation. I can't say I share her optimism. Yes, there is some. Definitely. The rest will come later. I'm sure of it. I always have reasons. The ensuing silence kills Lily's hopes, all too visibly. That didn't last long. Rin's as far as I can tell unbased. Assurance aside, what should be done? We could just leave her to her own devices, whatever those are. But it's late, and I don't think we'll be getting any thanks if Rin is found standing here in the middle of the night. Which she probably will, unless she manages to remember what she was doing here in the first place. As for me, I'm trying to guess... Excuse me. As for me, I'm trying to guess what might have been going on in her mind when she decided to embark on this adventure. The chances seem to be on par with winning the lottery several times in a row. Lilly is oddly quiet too. I'd appreciate some support from the sidelines here, especially if she's more familiar with Rin than I am. But it can't be helped. It seems her familiarity with Rin is exactly why she's staying subdued. So I assume you were going somewhere, not coming back to the school. Any idea where? Her eyes widen in shock, and she dolts back in a somewhat artificial way, making it seem like an act rehearsed for a situation like this. Are you in my mind render? Are you a mind reader? Is that your disability? How unique. No. What? Why would you think that? You knew what I was doing. What? I'm so confused. Ren, stop it. It was just an educated guess. We walked the same street in the other direction just before to get to the store. He rhymed just before get to the store, and we saw Ren, and she's not having no grin on the face, and we had a place. I don't know. I'm too white for this. If you were going to school, we would have met you on the way. Oh. She looks a little disappointed. Like Kenji, Rin appears quick to jump to completely irrational conclusions. Maybe it's something in the water here. I make a mental note to stock up on soft drinks. You know what? Rin and Kenji would be perfect for each other. Just saying. You know, this is the second time this week that someone asked if I was a mind reader. Do I really give off that impression? Rin shrugs her shoulders, which is all the answer I get. You know, maybe you should come with us back to the school. Lilly interjects just as I am about to further debunk my alleged mind-reading capabilities. She sounds rather concerned, a paper-thin smile on her face badly disguising that fact. Maybe she came to the same conclusion as I did. For everyone's sake, I decide to let the mind-reading topic drop, as it is entirely inane anyway. Yeah, Lily's right. If you can't remember, there's no point in staying here. Rin considers this rather simple deduction for a moment, then nods. Okay. We start towards the school again, having wasted more time than necessary with this episode. Rin walks along the edges of the sidewalk in her rhythmic way, looking like a mix of sleepwalker and rope dancer, while Lilly keeps one hand on my shoulder, tapping the ground with her cane. I'm guessing so she doesn't lose us. Is that why she has her hand on my shoulder? Probably. Tap, step, step, tap, tap, step, step, step. Apart from that, and a few fragmented beginnings of conversation, it's quite unique. A quiet apart from the relaxing one into town at that. So how's the mural going? We are going to get bad luck. Never talk about works in progress. Okay. I'm sure it'll be wonderful. Bad luck. Tap, step, tap, step. She doesn't care to talk about it. Lily's politeness feels out of place for the first time. Step, step, step. The hill Yamaku rests on top of is surprisingly steep. Going uphill, we slow the pace, but I still feel my pulse rising and breathing getting heavier. Almost there. I can see the gates already. More than that, though, I notice that Lily's hand slightly tenses on my shoulder, interpreting it as a gesture that she wants to ask something. I speak up. Anything wrong, Lily? I resist the urge to say, aside from our traveling companion, but only just. For a moment, she seems to debate whether she should even bring it up, but goes for it anyways. Is everything alright? Alright, how do you mean? The fact I can't interpret her incredibly vague question puts her off for a second. It's just, you seem unusually tired, I guess. Now that she brings it up, I notice that my breathing is strangely heavy. The uphill walk has really done a job on me. Lily noticed it all too quickly. Well, you know, that's alright, I just need to catch my breath. My condition isn't the best these days. Oh. Is it something that is related to you being transferred here, I mean? She cuts herself off rather abruptly, maybe realizing she was being a bit intrusive. Her instincts are sharp, though, and while I don't like the subject, it's not like I would lie about it. Well, I mean, it's party, you know, and it's not like she was rude about it, so you can at least tell her. If it's Lilly, I don't think I mind. Exactly. I'm just a little weak for the time being.
Yamaku said you looked fairly healthy, so I naturally thought.
Lilly doesn't finish her sentence again, letting it trail off with a measure of concern. As she furrows her brows, Lily's uncomfortable expression spurs me to say at least something to ease her feelings. It's surprising she's this flustered. Considering her straightforward attitude with her own blindness, she must know that not all share her own comfort about such things. No, it's okay. I have a pretty, I guess the best way to put it would be messed up heart arrhythmia. I had a bad heart attack a while ago because of it, and spent most of my spring in a hospital. Ended in Yamaku on doctor's orders. She silently nods her head in acknowledgement. My answer, though, only seems to make Lilly furrow her brow even further. She doesn't seem to quite know how to react, given we don't really know each other that well. I can't really fault her for it, given that I have the exact same reaction. To my surprise, in a moment's time, her face shows that she comes to some sort of realization.
Wait, so the time when Emmy and you collided in the hallway?
I grimace slightly. Her ability to connect the dots quite so fast is unexpected. Yeah, I guess I am a textbook example of why those rules about running in the corridors exist. That was a lot more dry than I'd intended. Lilly visibly shies away from continuing the topic. Well, I do want to... I don't know how to say that. Blank her concern. I really don't want to dwell on this either. Asajj, is that how you say it? I don't know. Don't worry about it. I try to offer a reassuring smile, but then I realize the futility. Without knowing this, Lilly smiles at me reassuringly, but doesn't say anything further. Arriving at the dorms, Rin stops. I keep calling her Rim. Rin stops in front of her mural as if lightning struck her. She had been so quiet for almost all of the walk back, and I had all forgotten she was here. It's Friday, isn't it?
Yes, Friday the 8th of June.
This is bad. You did... Oh no, because I think the fair's tomorrow, and Rin hasn't even finished her painting. I think I'm going to go in a fetal position and throw up, possibly in reverse order.
Something wrong?
No, nothing is wrong. It's Friday and nothing is wrong yet. The mural is going to need to be finished by Sunday, so everything's alright. Oh, it's okay. It's not for a while yet. Do you have any drugs? Or a time machine?
Oh no.
This is not good. Not good. So she's behind her schedule, recalling Shizune's exasperation at Rin's carefree attitude several days ago. I don't know what to think. Well, yeah, she thought we were smashing table counters, so... She has left herself open for a told you so, unless she can pull off whatever she needs to pull off by Sunday morning. Rin keeps staring at her mural, looking as mortified as she can. Leave me. I'm going to need to work for a while. I glance at Lilly, expecting her to share an incredulous look with me as I roll my eyes. But then I realize she's not one to do that kind of thing. Leave me. Bye, Rin. We do, of course, not wanting to aggravate her any more than she already is. There is a churning bad feeling in my gut. Rin sure has a knack of making people feel worried about her. She seems like a person who should never be left alone. Maybe we should call someone? She sounded like she was going into shock or something. I'm sure she'll be just fine. She's just, how to say. Lilly cocks her head a little, trying to find a polite way of calling Rin crazy without calling her crazy. Unique?
Yes, a very unique person.
I guess you could say that. She giggles at the notion, melodiously, nodding in agreement. Melodiously, something like that. Sorry about leaving you stranded as you talked to her. I don't really understand her, so I keep my distance. So my guess was right. Lilly offers a slight, apologetic smile as if she was worried that her own shortcomings have prevented her from becoming closer to Rin. I'm not one to blame her at all. Lilly lets slip a long breath, probably a disguised yawn. I imagine she is as exhausted by all this as I am. I'd better leave now and give these to Hanako. Thanks for your company, Hisao. She smiles very sweetly at me. It feels different than normal, despite the fact that she seems to be smiling so often. I can't put my finger on what the difference is. It's just different. Relaxed, I say, but it's probably just a relief. We're getting rid of Rin, maybe. Yeah, good night. Say hi to Hanako for me. I will. Good night. Alright, that'll do it for this episode. Thanks for watching this like hour-long Valentine love type duel special. But save. You save stat. But yeah. So thanks for watching. I'm almost coming up on 100 videos pretty soon, and I was thinking of doing something kind of new. Like, me and Zex, we talked about, like, it's not really playing a game, but kind of like recording our conversations that we have, because I don't know what we talk about, but it's, like, really freaking weird sometimes, but they're also pretty funny sometimes, and, like, I don't know, that could become a thing where it's just, like, a daily talk where we just kind of talk about stuff, like, I don't know, anything that pops into our head. I don't know if there would be a game in the background. There might be a game in the background playing, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, that's something that would be kind of interesting for a 100th video. If you guys have any suggestions or like recommendations or something, please leave a comment. I'll think of some stuff that we could do in the meantime. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for the support and all the stuff too. It's awesome so far. But yeah, keep up the good work and see you next time. Bye.